Woo! Slipped in almost late. Sorry about that, guys. I'm 5 minutes late, but I still made it. So, welcome on in to another day at Northwoods TCG. Thank you so much for everybody that's joining in. I know I'm going to give it a minute because I literally had zero lead time on this. I should have said it before I went to my meeting, but I didn't. So, here we are. We're going to chill. We're going to relax for a few minutes. We're going to talk about what's going on in Pokemon like we always do. Once again, trying to keep you up to date with what's going on in the Pokemon market, what opportunities we see, what is going to happen here in the next few weeks, what are we looking at for the rest of the first quarter in Pokemon, and we're going to kind of break that down here today. So, thank you guys, everybody. Once again, apologize for being a little bit late here this evening. I'm just gonna, like I said, kind of roll with it a few minutes here, just to give everybody a chance to get in. Of course, we've got some changes as well, and I do have my first video of 2025. I know I'm a little bit late in the month here, but I'll catch up on the video front. First video coming out this week of the market updates that are going on. Number one, our business updates. So we're going to be doing business updates. Of course, I did that last year, and I'm going to do it this year for full transparency to discuss what the changes were in the market, what have changed from this year, from 2024 into 2023, what kind of changes we've seen, and then we're looking at 2025. So we had a couple things to break down today on what's going on right now, but once again, thank you guys. I see some people starting to roll in. So Blitzkrieg, thank you so much for joining. As always, greatly appreciated to have you in here. I'm just sliding in late, and I do apologize for that, guys. I should have put up the live before I left, but I had an important meeting I had to go to, and I kind of spaced it, and of course, space time too. So welcome in, guys. We'll just get started real quick here. We'll take a look at what's going on right now in the market. What are we seeing currently? Of course, if everybody is living under a rock, it's been absolutely craziness when it comes down to the product situation. Going into any location at this point in time, we really don't have very much product available on the shelves. The shelves are emptying out quite a bit. So, Rich, thank you so much for dropping in too. I'm glad to have you on live again. But yeah, we're emptying out. The shelves are probably been the barest I've seen them, even in my normal last locations that I could pick up stuff even during 2021. These were areas that I could still potentially get some products, and those are pretty much drying up as well. Prismatic Evolutions, spotty. I'm seeing some people showing some really good signs of life for Prismatic Evolutions. Target's been putting them behind cases a lot of times, so that's slowing down the number of a number of them going out to scalpers and things, which is good for Target to do so. Overall, we haven't really had very many show up on our shelves. Walmart's been kind of bare. Targets around here had some, but once again, I'm too far away from a Target to really be able to go there and try and catch the delivery date on those. And so Prismatic still going crazy. ETB is still holding about that 110 right now value on them. So they're doing extremely well in price. If you were able to get some of those, which was very, very sporadic. And even if you picked them up at MSRP right now, they are doing fairly good. $111, $112. The Prismatic Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box sitting at about $258 right now. Binder collections about $60. The Techno stickers are a little bit high. Both versions are a little bit high, considering that a pack with as many is actually a little bit lower. But those Techno stickers, let's just be honest, are maybe a little bit on the deceiving side, because I have had reports from both the ACD and from Southern Hobby that those had a production issue, and they were told that they did not get as many as they're getting. So we might be seeing more of those Techno stickers coming back as well. Once again, it's just craziness when it comes down to Prismatic, and it's feeding into this frenzy, I believe, with a lot of things in the market currently at this point in time. Do I think that you should be diving out there right now and buying Prismatic? No, I do not. I think that there's going to be plenty of stock coming forward. Granted, if you can get it quick, I would when we get reprints. They've already kind of announced a reprint on it in May and possibly in March as well. So on that last release of Prismatic, we might be seeing a small reprint at that point in time of ETBs. So I think that there's going to be another opportunity to get in on those ETBs at that point in time. There's also going to be plenty of products still rolling out as well that have not hit the shelves at this point in time. I mean, we still got the six-pack blisters are still coming. The mini tins are still coming out. We've got the Evolution surprise box coming. So there's still quite a few products that are still got to roll out as well that aren't released. And this is being released like Crown Zenith and also like 151, where they're kind of phase releasing it on that part of it. Another thing in the market things is Blooming Waters. People, that's the new talk of the town, right? Blooming Waters is absolutely insane. There's people literally doing fist fights in Costco for Blooming Waters. And if you notice, I'm only saying Costco. So, FYI, I would not be buying Blooming Waters. I wouldn't be going near Blooming Waters. If Costco got that much stock and got that much, and Costco, to my knowledge, is the only place that has released any Pokemon 151 at this point in that Blooming Waters. So, paying $115 for this particular product when we still have the distributor allocations to be sent out. We have this going to be at Walmarts and Targets. We have this probably coming in at GameStops. We have this coming in at Sam's Club, guys. Don't get caught in the hype and FOMO with Blooming Waters. Do I think it's a good value? It's going to go up really quickly? Yes, I do. But do I think you should be paying $115 for this currently off of a scalper? Absolutely not. It does not officially release, I believe, until February 7th. So it hasn't been officially released. I don't know why Costco released all of their stock early. I don't know what their deal is with that. But Costco to date is the only location that I know of that has released the Blooming Waters so far. And there is a lot of places. I mean, Best Buy's getting them. GameStop's getting, they're going to be all over the place. And I do believe that they'll even be on Amazon. This was not a exclusive to Costco or Sam's Club. This was, I could have got this. There's a very short window, but I could have even bought this through distributors. So realistically, tons of time left. Tons of time left to be able to get this. February 7th is the official release date. I just looked that up. So definitely be watching at that point in time. Watch Sam Club, watch Walmart, watch GameStops. All of those locations will probably give you an opportunity to jump in on that as well. So definitely don't rush in on that part of it. Going through other things in the market currently, I'm seeing, of course, singles are starting to make some very big jumps as well. So if you've been holding out on some singles, thinking about waiting on the investment factors on those and just kind of some of these SIRs, I mean, we can go ahead and take a look at 151, for example, even with this mass dumping of product. We look at the Charizard SIR from there, for example, is already gone up from in November. So December 18th, it was, oh, that's PSA 10. Hold on. Let me get the raw only on this. So if we get the raw out here on so yeah. End of October, we were about $120. Currently today, we're up to $225. And even at the beginning of January, we were at about $190. So we've seen quite an increase on that one as well here in just the last month. And I mean, that's the same story on a lot of the SIRs currently at this point in time. If we use Pokedata.io and just start going through all of the raw pricing and things like that, the Blastoise, beginning of January here, so we were about $66 currently on January 1st, and now we are currently sitting at about $87 currently on that Blastoise, so another good gain. Overall, a lot of the cards are just going to continue to move in this current hype and FOMO status that we have right now. And overall, I think that this is going to continue until Pokemon does some kind of corrective action. What that corrective action will probably be in the form of some pretty heavy reprints. We're seeing already Surging Sparks getting announcements for reprints. That's going to be coming up here as well. And then Temporal Forces has also already been confirmed for sure on a reprint as well. So a lot of vendors are saying that we'll be seeing Surging Sparks coming up in that April-May timeframe. Once again, nothing concrete on the time. We've just been told that it's coming. Saying Temporal Forces has had a confirmed reprint, and that is supposed to be releasing in March. So we should be seeing Temporal Forces coming back in March. Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks have both been put on the docket for April-May releases on reprints as well. So the reprints are coming, boys. So we've got plenty of time. You can relax. Once again, talking in these market trends and things that occur, Pokemon does have the ability and the tendency to like to reprint things to death. So overall, plenty of time to keep working that market a little bit and taking advantage again of that reprint cycle where you can wait things out. You know, you miss the first wave, we may not be out of the woods when it comes down to not seeing more product, and then more product comes, and then you can jump in on that next wave when hype and FOMO dies down, and it gives you that little bit more time in order to be able to get in on those products and get in on those opportunities that you thought that you missed. So we've seen this in Sword and Shield. This is how it continually ran in Sword and Shield. So there's nothing really all that spectacular with this layout. They don't do the wave systems. Wave systems were really popular in 2021, 2022, 20. It was reprint system. We used to play the reprints all the time, wait for that big reprint, go in when nobody had hype and FOMO on the set, and go and stock up on that particular set for a while. And then the Pokemon market does what the Pokemon market does, and then starts building as always. So great things, guys. If you were able to get in on the bottom end things, I mean, you can go ahead and go down the list of a lot of the products currently. You know, even ones that I can remember, even Danny Phantom saying, remember Lost Origins at 135? You missed the boat. It was worthless to try and get in on it. You might as well just figure you missed it and move on. I remember Danny Phantom saying that. Nothing against Danny Phantom. I love Danny Phantom. He's got some very good information. But even I said that was something I did not agree upon is that if you passed on it originally at like 115 and you didn't, and then all of a sudden you thought 130 it was a good buy, yeah, absolutely kind of dumb on your part. But if you were new in the market and it's at 135 and look at it from a fresh perspective, or you missed that particular product and you didn't have an opportunity at it at 115, or you didn't have the capital at 115 and you bought it at 135, was it a bad buy? Well, let's take a look at that. Just over a year later, we're at $375 for a booster box of Lost Origins. That's $135 to 170 or 375. Think about the price gains that you would have potentially had on that. Now, is that always going to work? Not always, but in general, most of the sets, if you would have bought them, even when they were supposedly a bad investment by a lot of the bigger guys, they've all done really well. For example, Silver Tempest. We're up to $235 for Silver Tempest. We've got the booster packs, the sleeve blisters right now at about $625. So once again, doing some really good things on all of these old Sword and Shield products and giving us that longevity and opportunity that we are looking for on your investments. So overall, really, really good things going on right now if you were buying into the market prior. Now, if you bought in prior in the last year, you're doing extremely well. What are you going to do if you did not buy in and you want to jump into Pokemon investments? Well, to be 100% honest, I would wait. I think that there's some good opportunity in some of these older singles. So if you were to go back to, let's just say, Temporal Forces and look at that Lugia card, I mean, look at a raw Lugia in the last few months. And the trend is showing upward movement. As long as this continues and we continue to get this just raw push of product and raw push of the hobby again with, I think there's a combination of things happening again. I mean, people are feeling a little bit more comfortable after things in the economy. Even though the economy isn't great, we're seeing some dip in that, but I think people are starting to shift where their priorities are again. And number two, we have that new game. We've got that Pocket Friend or whatever it is for Pokemon, where they're getting all them cool little alternate arts. And it seems like since that became really popular, I was looking at the trends, that started to become very popular back in the beginning of October, end of September. That's not the release date, but that's when a lot of people were starting to show it. And if you look at a lot of these charts, since that happened, we have seen nothing but really good positive gain on almost all the Pokemon sets. We've seen really good gain, really good growth, fast sales. Everything's been accelerating since that point in time. So Pocket TCG, there you go. Rich, thank you so much. Pocket TCG is definitely a factor, I believe. I don't think that it's the end-all, be-all factor. I think there's probably a few combinations. But I do think that that's bringing in another, like a Pokemon Go boom, once again, kind of happening in this market with this new TCG. So with this new online TCG game. So it's a really interesting thing to see how that will work and how long this boom will run. And, you know, one thing that's going to stop this market, of course, is going to be a massive reprint from Pokemon. If it happens, then it's going to be the time to go gobble up this market. So, and I do like that I'm seeing, I want to see new investing channels out there and trying to talk about investing. And I love how they quote Warren Buffett. So I love people that you can tell that they've never done anything in investment, and they always like to go into Warren Buffett and talk about his quotes on things. And one guy was hearing was, talking about Shrouded fable in the market. Well, if someone's running away from it, you should be greedy. And if someone's running towards it, you should be fearful. And it's like, they're talking about a market. They're not talking, he's not talking about a specific product. It's right after he says, never let a good recession go to waste. I mean, that you're talking about a market in general. And when a market is now doing what it's doing in this really heavy bull market, the gambling and the risks become higher and higher. And that's something I do really want to put out there to everybody who listens. Again, as a reminder, this feels like 2021 all over again, is that if you are wanting to gamble, this is a gambler's market. You are gambling a lot in this point in time, and you are really sitting there taking some risks. Shrouded Fable is dirt cheap. I 100% get it. People are now trying to stoke the crap out of Shrouded Fable, and every one of them, for some reason, has Shrouded Fable for sale. And it's really interesting when they're selling it and saying it's an extremely good buy in today's market, and they're selling it for $40 in ETB on their own TikTok or on their own websites all over the place. I just find that very, very interesting that, this is the best buy because, well, you've been stuck on it since it got released, and now you're trying to use a market boom to make people think that it's worth a lot. Is Shrouded Fable going to be a great set? I keep getting that question, and I get that question a lot. And is there going to be value in Shrouded Fable? Well, in time, I think that there could be. Do I think it will perform better than a lot of other sets? No, I do not. I think that there are a lot better sets to be looking at. I think there's going to be some reprints coming, and if you had to tell me to put down money in Shrouded Fable, or is it a good idea to put it into Shrouded Fable, or is it going to be better to hold your money and go and wait for reprints to come of Surging Sparks or Prismatic Evolutions or of the new releases of Journey Together or Team Rocket set coming up in the near future? I would not be putting money on Shrouded Fable. To me, it is going to be a very slow gain. It's going to repeat a lot like Pokemon Go. And I mean, we can look at Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go has actually made a resurgence again. I mean, if you go and let's go ahead and look at it, Pokemon Go ETB. I actually looked at it the other day because I was kind of curious to see where it was because it was like $38, $42 forever, and it never really gained any value. But realistically, I mean, if you go on eBay right now, it's only $44 to $47 currently. And on TCG Player, it's selling for about $61. So there again, if you had it, I mean, it's been out for 3 years. It'll be out, 3 years in May? So, I mean, you got 3 years, and you've gained $20 on it. If you bought it at $42, you're up $20, which doesn't really account for the sales fees or the cost of inflation over those last few years. You're finally probably breaking even at this point in time. And it's really interesting that way. So, yeah, I mean, there's some really interesting aspects to look at it. Does Shrouded Fable have something that people want? That Persian, definitely something that people are going to be after. I think that that's going to continue to be a decent chase. I think that Earthen Vessel is going to drop out after it runs out of playability. Once again, you got a very playable card with that Golden Earthen Vessel, but even that one in the last few weeks here has been actually in this even current market has been dwindling a little bit. So if we go from August, it's just slowly going down ever so slowly to where we're starting to see a little bit of a value decrease in that particular card as well. So if we look at the raw, I mean, even beginning in January, it was about $52, and now it's kind of just dwindled all the way down. It's under $50 now. So it's losing its traction as well. So even cards in that set that you would think that people are pointing out as big hitters, the Houndoom, I think, is going to be another one that a lot of old-time Pokemon fans are going to love. The Houndoom. You've got the Persian, another one. The Duskull line is pretty cool. Duskull, Dusknoir, Dusclops. But realistically, besides that, there's really not a huge interest. Horsey's going to have some collectors on that too, just because of the fact that there are a lot of Seadra and Sea King fans as well. Because we got Seadra EX, but it really doesn't have an SIR. The good card was pulled out and put inside of a collector's box. So that's going to be a downside to that. So, yeah, overall, market's looking really good. Sets are doing really well. A little bit more gambling now if you're going to jump in on something. If there is a major announcement of a reprint out there, not just rumblings from what we're hearing from distributors on possible dates and when, you could really see a retraction, especially of some sets like Surging Sparks. We could see that $250 or $245 booster box really have a retraction and end up getting dragged all the way back down to its more reasonable, probably around $150, $140, depending on the size of the reprint. And once again, it's going to depend on the size of that reprint as well for how much it's going to affect. I mean, a few little a few little changes in there could make a big difference. And I just saw, I got it up here right now. I see that Blitzkrieg just put up there that the Houndoom is up to $70. It's not. It's actually sitting at about $40 currently at this point in time. So, at least that's all the current sales are at $40. There might be one listed at 70, but TCG Player right now is current sales are $43, and eBay right now is at $29.13. And if you go to Card Market, it's $22.38. And I can go right down the list of the current eBay sales, all under $30. PSA 9 was selling for $45, but the PSA 10s are doing really well, around $200 currently. So there could be a little flipping action there too, if you can get some really decent quality Houndooms and get some PSA 10s out of them. A 9, you're not going to make her, but if you get a 10, you're definitely going to have an opportunity at this point in time. So there are some little hidden gems at that point. We got the Rich just asked. I'll pull up a couple of these just because we are going through the market talk right now. So if I see them, I will be talking about them. I'm doing this one more of a market talk. I didn't have much time to prepare, so I'm just kind of winging her a little bit here and just using what I've been looking at all week and mixing this into this because I had a meeting and literally I just came right home and ran down the stairs to get down here because I try and start at 9. Roaring Moon. It's once again, I think that paradox part is giving it a little bit of an issue. I've said that before, and I know, some people say you'll get used to it and stuff. I think it's a cool card. Don't get me wrong. I think that it's one of my favorite ones out of the Ancient and the Paradox Pokemon. That and the Iron Valiant are probably my two favorite ones. But overall, the market is still kind of saying that it's not quite as hot as what other people would think it would be. So, I mean, even a PSA 10 right now is just crossing back up. So, PSA 10s are going up in value, while the raw card really isn't changing in value. It's kind of been flatlined now at about that. So, if I go by TCG Player, it's about $45 to $48 have been recent sales on TCG Player. eBay is selling about $60, and Card Market is selling about $68. So, I'd say an average right around that $50 mark right now, $55 mark. Recent sales on eBay for raw has been 60, 65, 64, 60, 60, 60, 61. So $60 roughly is average sales on eBay. TCG Player, there's been some around 38 all the way up to, looks like around up to $50 on TCG Player. But the one thing I don't like about TCG Player number 2 is it doesn't show how many of them are like near mint and how many of them are. It's just sales on the data inside of here. So that's one thing you can't break off. So overall, though, one of my favorite cards from the Paradox Rift era, along with the not just Paradox Rift, but from that line of cards in general. But if we go to that set, I mean, you still have some really good hits on there as well. That Groudon really climbing in value currently from Paradox Rift. So we are seeing some cards start to do some breakaways on this particular set. So Groudon doing very, very well. Altaria doing very, very well. Iron Valiant still sitting around that $30 range. So we're seeing some breakaways. There's been some decent opportunities in this particular set for potential growth. Let's see. I'm going to go down this list just a little bit. Like I said, I'm kind of punting, and I don't know how long I'll be able to stand because I do have someone waiting for me to call too. I do apologize. Today has just been an absolute mess, but I did not want to miss a live like the first month of the year. I'm just like, I am not missing one. There ain't no way. Welcome on in. We got Rich, we got Blitzkrieg. Hitus, thank you so much for joining in as well. We've got Pika Pika. Welcome on in, my friend. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day. But yeah, we're gonna go down the list here real quick. I just put on here. My target stalker told me today after next week restock Prismatic Evolutions will be next week's restock. Yeah, it's running out. I mean, we don't have very much coming into our stores either. You're going to be looking at the end of March before you're going to see any potential or any kind of ETB reprints is kind of what the word is on the street. Now that hasn't even technically been confirmed either. So I'm not confirming it. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just telling you that from the distributor's point of view, they say that there's a reprint coming of ETBs. They can't tell you a quantity. They can't tell you a for sure date. They're kind of putting out there that it's going to be around that last release. So when the 6-pack bundles and that get released, I believe it's like March 25th. It's the end of March that we will potentially see a reprint of ETBs at that point in time, but we'll see. I don't believe it until I actually see some things come across to actually show for sure that we're getting that. Blitzkrieg, happy my celebrations I thought would be a long hold to see any gain came sooner than I thought. And we're seeing a lot of movement on some of these older, sets that kind of sat stagnant for a long period of time. Celebrations is another perfect example. If you go into that, and I mean, you go to the classic collection or you go to the other thing, we're seeing some of these cards start to move. That Umbreon all of a sudden got a good little, last time I checked, got a good little push. So Umbreon V-Star, of course, with the Umbreon craze right now, went from being about an $18 raw card up to $52 for a raw card, all in 1 month. So we've seen a huge increase on that particular card. But yeah, we're seeing some things starting to move inside of that celebrations front for sure. And I do think that there's going to be some really good opportunities on those, especially as we get closer and closer to the 30th anniversary. Hard to believe that that's coming rather quick and almost too quick for my liking. But UPC is still sitting pretty stagnant around that 170 or 375, 395. The one thing that I've been looking is that I've got those Lance's Charizard and the Dark Sylveon boxes. Both of those starting to show a little bit of a push. Even those little figurine collections that I have one of them because I didn't think that they would do very well are all of a sudden getting a little bit of a push as well. So ETBs doing really well. I mean, they've been sitting at about pretty stagnant 115 for quite a long time though. So we're not really seeing a huge increase in the value of those at this point in time, but some of the singles are really starting to get some movement on them, which is a good thing. That's going to be a real help for that, and as we get closer to that 30th anniversary, it's going to be a help as well. Rish, I'm thinking Crown Zenith is the play for sure. Crown Zenith right now, let's check it out and see what we're looking at with that. I know the ETB's had a little bit of a spike. The Tina's really been pushing hard. The Gold Tina's been making some really good pushes here. Once again, doing some really, really big gains here in the last month. So 2 months, December 4th, it was $104, and now today it's $215. So you've seen a doubling in that particular card right away here in the beginning of this year. And even the card, like even the Arceus, the Mewtwo V-Star, the Origin Form Palkia, the Origin Form Dialga, all of them are making very big card moves right now. So the singles are really having some value increases. The booster boxes themselves have been moving up pretty steady as well. So if we look at the last 6 months on this one, the real spike has been occurring now at this point in time. So if we go to October, they were still sitting around $55 to $60. And today on TCG Player, they're about $100 per ETB, and on eBay, they're about $85 for sales. We're seeing anywhere between $82 to $90. So there is some opportunity to potentially jump in on some Crown Zenith on eBay, hold it for a little bit with its current trend, and be able to possibly capitalize on those particular items here in the near future. So very quickly, by the way, that they're moving. So once again, everybody was holding out for Crown Zenith to do Crown Zenith things. It's finally doing it. So there's getting to be an opportunity there as well. And there's also that opportunity to go buy them on eBay and have that turnaround right away, which is something that's always great to be able to get as well. Let's see. Rish definitely is because Crown Zenith is goated with hits. So makes it an enjoyable set. It does. It's got a ton of hits. It's always fun to open Crown Zenith. I will never complain opening that set. It's always a fun time. Costco loves the attention. So that's probably 100% true there. Costco just likes the attention of being the first one out. I don't know how they're releasing it and not getting some kind of repercussion for that. Or maybe they just don't care. The stock came and they put it out on the floor. I have no idea, but they are way early on the release. So just keep that in mind, though. If you're looking at that Blooming Waters, just put that in the back of your mind that there's going to be a lot more product. It's not like this is the end-all, be-all, that it was a Costco exclusive. You missed it. It's done. It's going to be everywhere. Best Buy, GameStop, all of your stores. Walmart's going to have this thing. It wasn't an exclusive. It was literally just a normal release product that we could even buy at distributors. So it's definitely not going to be something that's going to be a big issue for finding here. I think it's going to drop in price by the amount of it out there. Plus, a lot of scalpers have that stuff packed in. Scalpers are going to be your biggest hindrance on this set, and they're going to be the biggest hindrance in general right now. They're all seeing this dollar signs, and they're literally ripping themselves apart to try and get it. And to be honest with you, if I'm in that situation, I'm just not going to get involved. I'd rather miss something than get into a scuffle over a box of cards. I love Pokemon, but I'm just not willing to sit there and fight and get into a fist fight over it for sure. Blitzkrieg. I'm holding on my 2 prismatic ETBs to see what will happen before I rip. LOL. Pika Pika, wondering what I should do with my Surging Sparks Pokemon Center ETBs. Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box ETBs were doing fairly good. Nice thing is about the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes is they really haven't had a reprint in the Scarlet and Violet era. I mean, they're at 130 or 151 right now. Really haven't had any big surge since the release of them. Now, and they've been kind of stagnant even since the beginning of January here. I mean, they were at 140 on January 4th. And I mean, they've gone up about $10 and just kind of been flatlined since about the 14th. So a little bit of a movement from the 1st to the 14th up to $10, and then they've just kind of flatlined. But I don't know if I would be concerned about selling them at this point in time unless you need cash, because overall, I think that they're going to do really well, especially all these Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. I think will really hold a premium over the long term for sure. Just because if they don't reprint them and we don't see reprints of them, they're going to hold a premium by the fact that they are going to be a little bit more exclusive than any other thing. Now, we don't know how many are actually printed of those, but if everything else gets reprints and more stock shows up, then it's definitely going to be a factor for how well they perform long term. Blitzkrieg managed to get 3 from pre-order target at 56, and I won 1 off of an eBay Live pre-order show when they sold poster collections. Well, that's a good little pickup there. It's always good to get them at MSRP, so that's a nice thing. I haven't been able to get anything except for the 10 that my LCS hold at MSRP. Otherwise, I haven't even gotten a chance to see them in the wild. There was the guys that were following the MJ Holding guy that were literally pushing people out of the way and pushing each other into the wall and stuff for him at my one Walmart when the guy put them out. And I, like, once again, I'm not going to sit there and fight for these cards. I mean, there's going to be time, and there'll be a time for them to come back. I think you're going to have plenty of opportunities personally, and I'm just not willing to do that. It's just not worth it. Context matters, yes, especially when you're quoting someone like Warren Buffett. Context is very important. Trying to place that on a specific item and make it just a solo thing versus a full thing, or the whole market in general, is definitely not a good way to be trying to do things. Pika Pika, I actually do the opposite. I use the free 2-packs per day in the Pokemon TCG pocket to satisfy the urge to open packs. That is a very good way to do it right there. Blitzkrieg, they all laughed when I told them that they slept on it for the Persian and Duskull Evolutions and the premium boxes of Kingdra and Greninja. The Kingdra and Greninja boxes have been doing fantastic. I actually held 1 case. I got 2 cases, so I've got 1 or 2 cases of those boxes, and I am very glad that I held those boxes because they are going freaking nuts. And then you sit there and you look at that. I will say the boxes were definitely not something to sleep on with that promo in there, because right now the Kingdra box is at $46 for the Kingdra box right now, and the Greninja box is more expensive than the ETB right now. And the Pokemon Center ETB at $77. It is the most expensive single item by far. So it's $78 right now for that Shrouded Fable Greninja EX Special Illustration Collection. The Pokemon Center Shrouded Fable Elite Trainer Box is only $72 currently. So yeah, the regular ETB is $38 currently. So no real change there. What is this little Shrouded Fable mini bundle? Has anybody ever seen that? I never even saw that thing. Huh. Is that something they sold on Pokemon Center? I have never seen that. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's like a box with like all five of the tin arts inside of it. I never even saw that product. That's kind of cool. Oh, let's see. I gotta sell my Pogo. Get out! Get out now! Get out! Hey, Pika Pika. Alex tried to get me to go in on that. You remember that? On that we did a live together, and he was trying to get me to say that Pokemon Go is gonna be the the goated set that everybody's sleeping on. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know. I never did. That set never really clung to me. I wasn't really excited for Pokemon Go, and I was concerned about it, and I didn't buy much into it. I mean, I bought my normal one ETB of it, but that's realistically all that I bought, just because I was a little concerned by that set, just because it was so far displaced from Pokemon Go. It did have a good, like it had the starters in it. I mean, you had them Radiant starters inside of it, but I mean, the Mewtwo was so easy to pull that it kind of killed that set for the chase really quickly as well, which was a big factor. I mean, it's a cool concept, but overall, it just never really took off. I mean, the most expensive card in it right now is that Mewtwo V, and I pulled 5 of them out of the ETBs I opened. So we pulled 5 of them when we were trying to chase other stuff, because I wanted the gold Mewtwo. But we pulled 5 of the alternate arts. It was just crazy. And I sold 3 of them for $70 a piece when they first came out. Mewtwo V-Star, once again, second card, $36, so it's only $2 less than the main alternate art. And in general, I mean, the cool peel sticks, them are kind of cool, but they're only $5 a piece. And the Pokestop, which was the big chase with playability, is running out of rotation as well. So that one will be out of rotation, and I think the value on that's going to drop fairly quickly too. Right now, that's about $5, but I think that's going to trip a little bit at the reverse hollow, and then the regular is about $1.50. I'm just gonna look at, because this Pokestop was an interesting one because of the fact that it was so sought after for playability, and since December we're coming into rotation here pretty quick. We've seen it go from a $5 card all the way down to a $1.60 card, so even that's losing value. So a lot of Pokemon Go stuff is losing value just because of the fact that its playability is now going away as well. So ETB's sealed product, definitely going to be a good, I think you're going to have good odds selling that, but I think the ETBs and those kind of products are going to start going up in price. I mean, the other one that was doing rather well was the Eevee box too, is finally starting to make some movement. I have a case of those just because, well, I like Eevee, so I have a case of those as well. But those were slowly finally starting to make a move as well. Oh, they're not even on this. What the heck? Nope. Okay. Well, on TCG Player, it was finally starting to make a move on those two. I was checking them out because I do have a case of the Eevee boxes, just because I like the Radiant Eevee box. I mean, I got one on my display right over here too, just because cool card. Cool little product. I do like the Eevees, but I'm an Eevee sucker. I'm over it. I can get with it. That's why I kind of want to open Prismatic, but I'm not spending that much money on it. Okay, let's see. We're at Blitzkrieg. How to do one for 20 to 70 card? No, it didn't go that high. I wish it did. I saw that one, but it's about 40. It doubled in price. Rish, what happened? I already answered that. How's Crown Zenith doing? I already answered that. It's up there. Yep, Crown Zenith is doing really well. Pika Pika, I'm saving my Crown Zenith ETBs. Good call. I think that's going to be a really good play here right now. I think it's still got plenty of room on that ceiling to keep moving up. It's one of the best sets ever. Absolutely. Got that. Even Celebrations Pikachu V-Union box has at least doubled. Yeah, and the other one that was kind of laughing at is, I'm going to go check it before I open my mouth, because I was looking at it the other day on eBay, was the Shining Fates. You remember those Pikachu V boxes that were literally everywhere, and they were like $20 everywhere? They're even starting to move up in value now. I mean, it hasn't been a huge increase, but they've gone up in the last 3 months now. They have gone up from being at MSRP to going up to $28, $29. So we're finally seeing, if you were holding those boxes, you would actually be seeing some potential value on there as well. So some of the other things, products that were moving extremely slow now are seeing a little bit of growth. Shining Fates, I think the Charizard is actually going up. It's back over $100 for a Charizard. So again, another card that's kind of sneaking in the backside, and you're not seeing it go up in value, is that Charizard V. So in the last 6 months, it went from $70, and now we're sitting at $120. So once again, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal if you can go from about a $70 card to a $110, $120 card right now in recent sales. So sitting here on the backside, if you bought some Shining Fates Charizards, they're doing rather well. Blitzkriegs, yeah, I got a sealed case of the Crown Zenith ETBs. I'm not letting go, especially if it's a sealed case, 10% more. Good call. Rish, what's your opinion on any PSA 10 that may go up in value for around 100 to... I mean, if it's going to go up in value, I'd just keep holding it, unless you need money. A lot of times right now you get the favorability to sit here and kind of play the markets a little bit. If you need a little bit of cash, and you bought those and you got 100% gain on them. So if you bought them or graded them yourself and did it for like $50, and now all of a sudden they're like $200 at this point in time, it's a great time to jump in on it. It's a great opportunity to maybe sell out and be able to capitalize on something in the market that may move more. All these things are going up in value really quickly right now, and it can be deceiving too, because at some point we may have a correction, and when that correction happens, it can be kind of detrimental to your gains as well. Let's see. So I'm going to get to the end of this, guy. I'd love to sit here and talk longer, and I'm going to answer the questions that we got on here, trying to get through all these. I'm thinking the Zapdos 151 PSA 10 might go up, in my opinion. I think it's got some room. If you're talking about the SAR, it definitely could have some really good opportunities for some growth. I think a lot of these cards, too, it really depends on how much Blooming Waters comes out and how much potential, what the pull rates are of these products. I don't know if anybody's in the chat has maybe seen someone open a Blooming Waters or done something around those. I don't know. I don't know how well that they've their pull rates have been. Have they been like the Sea and Sky boxes where the pull rates were really good? Because if you get a mass dumping like that, not just at Costco, but at all these places, and they all have fairly decent pull rates, it could definitely hamper that Zapdos growth, because then you're going to get a lot more of those flowing into the market. At the PSA 10, I mean, there's 5,200 of them out there right now, and it's $228, and it's gained from 146 back in the mid-October to now, so it's had some really good gains, and it's going up really nicely. It's a little bit short of doubling, but it's getting closer and closer to that point of doubling. He has, what's up? What set do you see being undervalued right now? Undervalued right now? Kind of a mix. I think Crown Zenith is still a little bit undervalued currently at this point in time for the set, as we talked earlier. I think that that's a really good set that's currently undervalued, in my opinion. Another set that I would currently kind of put as a little bit undervalued personally at this point in time may also be possibly Obsidian Flames a little bit. I don't think we're going to see a reprint of Obsidian Flames at this point in time. The products are starting to get movement to them, so we're seeing some gains. The booster boxes are finally seeing some gains. Those 6-pack bundles, so I bought these from distributor when they said they were going to run out. Another one of those products, they were $22 just less than a month ago, and now they are all of a sudden getting up over $30. So there again, I'm seeing a 30% gain on a product in Obsidian Flames, and I don't think that it's done quite yet either. I think there's plenty of room on that set. Paldea Evolved, another one, I think is another set that's still a little bit underrated. I know that Magikarp's a really good chase. Everybody loves that Magikarp, but I think right now the pricing is probably getting stagnated because everybody's interested in the new sets. And now might be a nice time to maybe jump in on some of that as well. I don't think we're going to see any more reprints of Paldea Evolved, because they're going to be focusing on these newer ones that are currently out there. So what's out there may be the last bit of stock that we have out there. If they have not announced any reprints, then I'd be getting a little bit hesitant to think that there'd be some coming at this point in time. But I mean, it's a little pricey coming in. Recent sales on eBay are around $200. On TCG Player right now, it's about $95. So there again, you know, it's a little bit pricey buy-in, but I think it could do well because that Magikarp chase is a lot of fun and people enjoy it. Pika Pika, yeah, the Miraidon Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box is $200. Yeah, that's doing extremely well as well. So I just looked at it, 180 for the purple one, so for the violet, and I believe it was 160 for the. Yeah, you're probably right, Miraidon. I don't know the difference between them. So yeah, the Koraidon's about 140. The Miraidon is 170 right now. So there's a little bit difference on those two sets, but yeah, the Miraidon is doing extremely well. Dang. I have a handful of those Shining Fates V-Boxes. They're starting to move. I mean, as the Charizard goes up, it's really got some opportunity. I was gonna give them to my nieces and nephews. Maybe not. Hold on to them. J-Can. The Cyrus and Clara box set from Peace Center is not. Oh, it isn't. I was wondering about that. Because the original one had Sword and Shield packs in it. Now they must have did a reprint on them, huh? Well, you got to be careful now, too, because even the Pokeballs. So I got a D21 Pokeball at Walmart the other day, and it had Scarlet and Violet packs in it. And it should have had Cosmic Eclipse in it. But it didn't. It had just regular Scarlet and Violet, Paldea Evolved, and Obsidian Flame in it. So they're even taking some of the old Pokeballs they must have in stock, and they're starting to recycle them. So they're getting them out of their rotation. Wrong number and everything, and they got the wrong. So that also means a problem for your potential investments as well. If you're banking on that bottom number on that ball being the way that you would be able to tell one from the other, sad news is that that's going to kind of mess that up as well, that you're almost going to get committed to breaking that ball open to prove what's inside of it. So just a heads up, if there's more of them or a lot of them out there, that could definitely be a situation that you might want to be looking at. Blitzkrieg, yeah, went in on Obsidian Flame when Pokemon got his restock, and I got a case, and if I find those 3-pack blisters, I buy them up. I do too. I've been really cautious looking at the 3-pack blisters at like my Walmarts right now, because the sale or the stocker keeps sticking like older ones inside of there, but he hides them in between, like behind the Shrouded Fable and the Paradox Rift ones, so it kind of like tucks them behind there where you don't see them very easy. So you got to almost go in now and you have to look through all of them to see if there's any value in the back there, or if they're all just kind of hidden around. But I mean, the 3-pack blisters, they're still sitting there about MSRP. They're actually still under MSRP, and I don't know. You know, like I said, the packs are only $4 a piece as well. So the packs have got to get some value before we see them blisters do well. AR Merc, welcome on in. Rish, I will head out. Y'all have a nice night. You too, Rish. Thank you so much for joining. Night. Peace out, Rish. Good to know about the Pokeballs. Yeah, be cautious on those. AR Merc 1/5 or AR Merc 15. How much prismatic have you opened? 3 packs. I opened 3 packs because I got one of these from a store, and that is all that I've opened. 3 packs. Well, yeah, I haven't even opened any live. So, no, I've opened 3 packs total. I finally got. Well, I take the back. What am I talking about? We opened 10 ETBs live. For myself, I've opened 3, and I've opened 90 packs total, 93 packs total with the lives. So, for the ones that I got from my distributor, we opened those. I finally got my Umbreon, Vaporeon, V-Tins from Target, $19.99 each. They finally sold out. Wow, that's impressive. They finally did. They've been sitting on there for a long time. Open 0. Yeah, I opened one 3-pack blister for myself, and we've opened 10 packs or 10 ETBs that I got from my LCS on stream. But other than that, I have not opened any other stuff. I've only opened 3 for myself. Yeah, the only reason I even got them, I got them at MSRP for my local Local LCS. That's the only place the only way I got them, and then I got the four from distributor 6 from distributor. So them are still sitting here. I haven't done anything with them yet. I was gonna maybe put them up on the stream yet, but I haven't decided yet. I wonder how much the Evolutions premium boxes are. Let's check. Evolutions, which ones? The ones from the original ones? Because you're talking the ones that were released. I think they're under the Brilliant Stars tab in here. Because they were released on December, and I think they got put under the Brilliant Stars tab. Let me check. No, them are the other V-Star ones. Or are they older than that? I don't remember. I remember they were hard to find at first. Did they get put under Fusion Strike? I didn't think they... Yeah, where did they stick them products? Nope, I need them. I can go... This is where it's sometimes hard to find the products that you're looking for on these, but we can go 2021, and they were a collection box. Collection box, here they are. For the Flareon 140, for the Jolteon 150, and for the Vaporeon 171. Currently, if you're talking about those VMAX premium collection boxes, I'm assuming that's what you mean. Yeah, the VMAX premium collection box. There you go. So that's what we're sitting at right now. The Flareon 140, the Jolteon 150, and the Vaporeon 170. So that's what you're looking at on those V premium collection boxes, VMAX premium collection boxes. Blitzkrieg, are you in Canada? Because your numbers are just just the right amount higher than the English than America. That I'm wondering, are you in Canada? Yeah, I got a whole case of them, but it's like when they came out, I got a case, but I think there's 6. Yep, I got 2 sets of those right now, and I'm not giving them up. I also have the one graded. That was so. Yeah, I got that one. I actually got this. I opened one set that I got at Walmart and ended up getting the graded one in a PSA 10. So that was pretty nice. Glad to have that alternate art in a PSA 10. So yeah, I was happy to get that one in a PSA 10. That was a decent pull or a decent grade on that one. I was happy. Add that to the Flareon collection. All right, let's see. So it looks like I'm caught up. So, guys, like I said, I'd love to hang out longer, but I have got to run tonight. I do apologize. Normally, I would just go into overtime and just have some fun. No, I did not get a good VMAX. I only got a good V. So I got 2 VMAX. I opened two of those Flareon boxes, and one set was complete junk. The other one had this V that was close. I knew it would be really tight, and I did get the and then the VMAX was junk. So I only got the V. I have a VMAX. It's in a PSA 9 because that's all that I was willing to pay for, which doesn't hurt my feelings. But so yeah, basically that's kind of where it was on that. Is this the fact that I just didn't want to spend the money on getting a 10 for that. It really wasn't that big of a push for me. So I was okay with just getting those. So that's the Flareon V. I don't even know what that thing's going. When I got it back, it was like sets. Cards. Where's cards? All right, so let me see. We're gonna go English. So yeah, I mean that was $140. I don't know why I'm not finding that card. Why is it not searching? Oh, here it is. I don't know what that is. I know it was a little tougher grade when it came down to it. So raw, it's still $50 for that card. Where are we at? A PSA 10. So $425 for that in a PSA 10. Wow. And there's only 1,270 of them. Actually, a lot of 9s. So I'll take it. I'll take that one. The hunt continues. Yeah, I gotta find a V. I'll eventually find one if I want to spend the money on it, but I haven't wanted to. But all right, guys. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out with me this evening. I do apologize for the late notice and the short notice and the fact that I got to leave, but I do enjoy these lives. Once again, if you guys do want to support the channel, my goal this year is to try and get enough people to buy me a cup of coffee every day. So if you want to support the channel and help me out with that goal, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and also hit that membership button and join the membership club. Greatly appreciated. As always, guys, hopefully this is some useful knowledge for you when you're looking at these Pokemon sets and what you should be doing currently in this current market. If you do like this kind of content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe as well. And hopefully we will see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time here on Northwoods TCG.